Welcome to the show. Today, again, will be discussing about Iran, US proposed talks as there is exchange of documents and files, certain proposals which are under discussion, and as the media has been reported through American officials as well as the Iranians, that there are 14 points. However, yesterday the Iranians' response to the Americans, there's a problem because American president says that it is not acceptable, while the Iranians official says that America is demanding too much. So, in the middle of all these, the American side proposal as well as the Iranian side's counter proposal, still the strait is closed, and because of the Strait of Hormuz closure, there is an energy crisis in most of the countries of the world, and Pakistan is also feeling the heat. I have a very prominent guest, Professor Muhammad Azhar. He's a PhD scholar. I mean, the degree holder of PhD for a long time. He has been a head of the Department of IR in Bahria University, associated with the academia as well as with the research. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Kindly tell me that how you see the present statements given by both the Iranians as well as the Americans.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank
Well,
you.
I think both sides are still posturing, and this shows that the uh, end game is still a little far. What we were expecting that probably Trump would try to bring a solution to this before the China visit. Now that speculation seemed to have died because the China visit is only 2 days from now, and still they are trying to measure each other. Both sides have not exhausted their options. They are still trying to measure each other because both sides problem is, I think, more now domestic than international, because they have to satisfy their domestic audience as well, that we have ended at on some victorious note. So they are trying to gain that victory signal which they can claim, and I think that's why it continues so far.
Today, we have seen a number of statements from the Iranian side. The president of Iran gave a statement. Ismail Bakai, who is the spokesperson of the foreign ministry of Iran, he has also issued a statement saying that ending the complete end of this war up to Lebanon is the genuine demand of Iranians. One. Second, he says that whatever we have lost, so we need a compensation for that, and that is also, a legitimate right of the Iranian people. And third, they say that our assets have been frozen. There are number of conditions which are being imposed over the last many years on Iran. That's why the Iranians could not sell out their natural resources, especially their oil as well as the gas, on the international price to the international market. So they say that these are the genuine demands and these are the national interests. Similarly, on the other side, the American says that until the issue of uranium, the nuclear issue, especially the enrichment of the uranium, is being resolved, the things cannot move, because today we have seen a statement of the Israeli Prime Minister. Once again, he is, stressing and discussing the same issue of nuclear. So, do you think that the both sides are trying to put a maximum pressure on each other?
They are. I think it goes beyond saying that Iran's stance has been very legitimate. You said it. In fact, I think they have already shown much flexibility. For example, uranium, they have achieved certain scientific, technological achievement, and why should they hand it over to an enemy? If they want to use it for peaceful purposes, it's their legitimate right. So America is the aggressor. We have to keep that in mind. And they are trying to push Iran to a limit. They just want to show that their legitimacy as a superpower hangs in balance on this particular conflict. So they are trying to tell the world that they are still the hegemon, which they are not. And Iran is every day showing them that they have lost that credibility to shape geopolitical events in this region. And I think that is the reason. And then it goes beyond, probably, in my opinion, we keep telling people that the issue is nuclear, and we simplify it a lot in our media, and I think that is also convenient for the United States. uh, I think the United States goes beyond Trump. We always discuss Trump. Okay, there's Netanyahu. He has convinced Trump, and Trump has put a superpower into war, and only Trump can decide. I do not agree with that. I think, and you would know better than me, there is a system. They say there is a method to the madness, and it is not just Trump. There's the entire oligarchy, that power elite which is functioning behind Trump, whether you call it APAC, which represents that elite, or uh, give another name of the capitalist. They want war, not only for stopping Iran going nuclear, but how much have they earned during this war? See, all those billionaires, even Trump's family fortunes have gone rocketed to the sky during this conflict. So they are earning a lot. United States economy at the moment is hinged on conflicts around the world. The day there is peace in the world, the United States will cease to exist. So it is their existence also. We say it's Iran's existence, but for me, it is United States existence also, and Israel's as well. So they are looking at a larger picture. They want the entire region to be destabilized. They want to weaken not only Iran, but they also want to put the other countries against each other,
Do you,
so
sorry,
that the
sorry to
entire
interrupt
region is
you.
weakened.
Sorry to interrupt you, but do you think that the Americans and the Israelis and their, all those big minds and brains who are behind their all the strategies, whether they are sitting in the Pentagon, CIA, or those rich people who are running their arms factories in America, they are selling arms to East and the West and the North and the Middle East, everywhere. They are generating dollars. They try to capture the oil and the gas resources of the countries like they did in Venezuela. So, do you think that whatever is going on in the Middle East, they deliberately want to destabilize this region? And do you think they have succeeded in, bringing the Muslim states in front of each other, especially the 6 GCC countries on which the Iranians were attacking, and the Iran, where Pakistan, it has been said that Pakistan played a very important role in asking the GCC countries not to respond to the Iranians.
I think they have not yet succeeded. They have succeeded in creating tensions, in creating conflict and instability in the region, but they have not yet succeeded because of the prudent behavior of countries like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. The countries did not retaliate. They are only issuing statements. They are condemning the act of Iran, but they have not retaliated in kind. And Iran has also been very wise. It has only targeted US military interests in the region. It has not targeted, for example, civilian population like the US and Israel are doing. So far, they have not succeeded in pitching the Muslims against each other. And that is the success of this campaign. And I give that credit to Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Iran primarily for keeping that unity in a way intact, that we are not fighting with each other. Otherwise, I think their plan envisaged that they should start fighting with each other. So far, it has not happened. So that objective has not achieved. But yes, the instability part, the conflict, the money that they are generating through the conflict, as you put it, in that area, they have got their personal benefits. Their empires have expanded, which continues to do so. So that process goes on. So they are extending it intentionally. There is no reason after Iran had uh, agreed conditions, they still did not go for ceasefire and they attacked Iran. Even before the start of the attacks, Iran had agreed, and this is on record now when Oman was mediating all this. So I think their intention is to prolong and get other countries involved in the conflict.
Dr. Azhar, do you think that, as the Iranians have proposed, that those issues which are, a bit difficult issues, like the issue of nuclear, um, you know, program of the Iran, um, either it's for the civilian purposes, as the Iranians have been saying this because they are part of the NPT. The Iranians have signed non-proliferation treaty, and whatever program they were being following or executing, the nuclear program, it was under the very much umbrella of the IAEA. But even then, uh, the Iranians are saying that, okay, leave the difficult part of all these negotiations on the one side, and let us talk about opening up, this strait, which is affecting the entire economy of the world. Let us talk about lifting sanctions on Iran, and then certain other issues, as they are asking for some kind of a compensation for the damages that have been caused to their civilian, especially infrastructure in Iran. So, do you think that it is a genuine kind of a Iranian proposal and demand that let us resolve these issues first, ending of the war, so opening of the strait, and lifting the sanctions, and the difficult part, like control of the missiles program of Iran, nuclear program,
Right.
proxies that they do talk of, we will discuss, keep on discussing later on. Do you think this is a good proposal?
It is not only genuine, it is, I think, very wise proposal, and nobody goes to the extreme and give concessions. It has to be step by step. You have to start with confidence building measures, as you suggested, and then as an create an environment. First, there has to be an enabling environment. You cannot go to your extreme demand and say, okay, first accept this, and then we'll talk about the lower demands. You always start from the lower, start solving one by one, and then leave the most complex and difficult one to the end when there is a conducive environment. The general public has also been tuned to that environment, that okay, things are getting better, our life is getting better, sanctions have been uplifted, uh, the as you said, Strait of Hormuz has opened, trade is going on. Okay, now we can sit down and we are in a position to give you some more favors. But to start with that, I think that is very intransigent behavior from the United States and Israel, and no country will accept that. It has to be incremental, step by step. And I think that's a very wise proposal.
As we have been saying that, the Saudi Arabia and Iran, they were being very wise naturally because of the Pakistani mediation, asking them to tone down, scale down, whatever military action the Iranian was taking, or whatever, the naturally the Saudi Arabia at the one point was really angry because of the attacks which were going on in the beginning. Eh, Today, we have seen that the Iranian foreign minister have spoken to the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia, and that is a very good development. That's a very encouraging. because these are the two big countries in the region. So, do you think that when these two countries can, have some kind of a framework for talking to each other and at least pushing some kind of a unanimity on this issue, that will also help to, stabilize this region?
Yes, sir, definitely. Not only that these are two big, powerful countries, but if I'm allowed to say, these two countries are leaders of two Muslim blocs, Shia, Sunni. So they combined, they can put the entire Muslim population together if these two can act together and join in an agreement. So they are very important. And as you know, China is also behind both of them. China had brought them very close a couple of years back, and they had an agreement and all that, and they started exchanging uh, diplomatic uh, exchanges. So these two countries are very important. Pakistan, as a facilitator, as a mediator, can play a role which I think we have done more than our size. But then we have our limitations. We can't push the countries, we can't take sides, we have to be neutral. But
Mm,
if these two countries can be brought on board and in harmony, then the situation in the Middle East will change drastically. It can put pressure, real pressure, on the United States and Israel as well. So it is very important that Pakistan, China, Russia, the other countries which are looking for peace in the region, they should try their best to bring Iran and Saudi Arabia closer together to an agreement, and that will literally bring the entire bloc together. And it will be very difficult for United States and Israel to pursue their policies like that. We have spoilers in between. I don't want to name them, but yes, if these big countries can be brought together, then those spoilers will be weakened.
Professor Dr. Mohammad Azhar, thank you very much for your precious time. You spoke very well, and in fact, you have
My pleasure.
pointed out the important elements that are, that are the fundamental for bringing a framework for this resolution of this conflict, which is still, I mean, there is a kind of a uncertainty in the Middle East as well as rest of the world. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.